Hello, and welcome to a special episode of Nintendo Fun Club podcast. I'm Ryan, and joining me, as always, is John.
What's up, Ryan? We're back sooner than promised.
I know, there's just a lot to talk about. We just finished the Nintendo Direct, and even like prior to that, there was a bunch of stuff that got me pretty excited. So we're just going to jump in. We're going to do some pre-direct news first. Then we'll cover the direct. And if we are still alive, we'll talk about some games we've been playing. So, let's take a look at one really cool announcement recently was that R-Type Dimensions is coming to Switch this winter. It's been announced for Japan, but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't come to the West. And even if it didn't, well, it's a region-free console, so it's totally easy to just pop in and however you fund your Japanese eShop account is fine, and then you can just buy it there. But R-Type Dimensions is a really cool game that I played on, I think, PS3 like a decade ago almost. And it combines R-Type 1 and 2. And what's really cool about it is the way they do the graphics switching. It's very like on the fly. It was the first time I had seen this. It's not like, sometimes you get like remakes of old games and it's like, well, you can choose classic graphics or, the modern updated 2.5D graphics or whatever. And with this Dimensions pack, you can just, I don't remember at all, but on PS3, it was like clicking an analog stick or something. And like, as you're playing, you can like switch between the graphics on the fly like that. And the new 3D graphics, they look fine. But I still think like the original R-Type pixel graphics are just so good. So what's also interesting about the Switch port, there's a few new features that weren't included in the original version on PS3 and 360 that you can, like, for like an easier experience, you can press a button to slow down, I believe. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a button press or it's a mode you select on that one, but you can play it in like a slower mode. Or if you're like really good at R-Type, you can play it in like a faster mode. So you can totally change the game speed. R-Type is just fantastic. There's going to be online leaderboards here. Just a really cool horizontal shooter coming to Switch.
Very cool. Is there a price on the Japanese shop for that? Or
no, I want to say it was like $15 on PSN back in the day. So yeah. I would expect somewhere between 10 and 20. Mm-hmm. Which I think is totally fair because these are two like really, really good games. And it makes me hope for more R-Type games on the Switch. There were these like tactics, R-Type tactics games that came out on PSP that were like strategy games, and I always wanted to play them. And I think like the second one has like a ridiculous subtitle. I want to say it's like Operation Bitter Chocolate or something along those lines. It's really ridiculous and awesome, and I would love to see those games make the jump to Switch, and also R-Type Final as well. But I mean, this is a great sign. Switch is becoming the platform for both retro games and old school shooters. So it makes me really happy.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, next on the list. I don't have like a ton to say about this, except it's cool. The custom robo producer announced a new game called Synaptic Drive for Switch, which is a competitive 3D shooter. And did you ever play the custom robo games, John?
I never did. No.
Okay, I've actually only played the DS one, but I absolutely love that game. I mean, obviously you are customizing a mech, but like it played kind of like a bit like a virtual on type combat game, and it sounds like that's exactly what this is. So yeah, that's really fun and exciting. Next up, well, I guess this was actually announced in the direct, so we can save it.
Okay.
I had started the notes on this before, but then I think this is of interest to both of us. More Sega Ages games announced for Switch. Recently, Space Harrier was announced, and then a few more games were announced. Columns 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Thunder Force AC, which is Thunder Force 3, and Outrun.
Yeah, Outrun. Outrun, I love. I get really excited about Outrun. So I was super into it on 3DS. And yeah, that's the one that I think we knew we'd be getting Outrun in the Sega Ages collection, but it's nice to have that confirmed. And yeah, I'll be super excited about that one, no doubt. And the rest of them are cool too. I actually, Sonic and Sonic 2, I'm for sure gonna get. That should be great. And Columns, I don't know if I've played Columns 2. I don't think I have, but Columns.
I believe it was an arcade only release, and it never came to the Genesis.
Okay, then I definitely didn't play Columns 2. I was gonna say, but I did love Columns on the Genesis actually.
For sure.
I was into that, so I'm excited for that one too. So
yeah,
I mean, it's great news. I was hoping today we'd hear about some some release dates for Western releases of Sega Ages games, but it can't be too far off, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're the first two. What is it? Sonic and Thunder Force 4 are coming to the eShop in Japan on the 20th of September, which is actually like following this direct. It's actually become like kind of a crowded release time for the Switch. But yeah, so those games are coming to the Japanese eShop. They're like 925 yen, so like about between $9 and $10. And yeah, I mean, that's when it all begins. And then nothing really on North American releases, but I think it's probably a safe bet. And this is kind of following the Sega 3D Classics model, like the way we got those games, where they came to Japan first, usually by a few months, and then eventually made it to the Western 3DS eShop. And but with Switch, I mean, if you want the games, you can just buy them on the Japanese eShop.
Yeah, that's true, and I'll probably do that with a couple of them, like especially two that we mentioned there, like Sonic 2 and Outrun. I would do that with Columns maybe. If they follow that model too, they also ended up doing a physical release, at least in Japan. Well, and they did a couple physical releases in Japan.
3.
One here, right? So 3 in Japan, 1 here. So yeah, I might not want to buy all of them on the eShop anyway, I guess, depending. But But yeah, so I guess I should know this, but it's a little weird because there's multiple region eShops. So if I buy Outrun from the Japanese eShop and then they release Outrun on the US eShop, it's like the same game, I guess, like in the store, or I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's kind of a weird thing. Like I want obviously the localized versions of them and stuff. So I'm assuming it's like basically the same file essentially, and you can change languages.
That's how a lot of it, a lot of these kind of releases have been, but actually the Japanese Sega 3D Classics were in Japanese.
Okay.
I mean, you could only access like the Japanese, it was all Japanese text and everything.
Right.
But it's, like the the Hamster Arcade Archives games, those have those come out a day earlier in Japan. So on like a few releases that I've been like super stoked about, I've ended up, grabbing those on the Japanese eShop so I could play them like Wednesday night or whatever. And those have had, those are very built to be like, you can select the Japanese version or the North American version, and it's like that's the same. So I don't know how these will roll out, but even if it is like in Japanese, like the language barrier is like pretty much non-existent for these kind of games for the most part. So we'll see. I mean, I will definitely be providing coverage on this show of those games. So you can look forward to that. I'll keep you updated.
All right. Okay.
Cool. So now the direct. And the way we're going to go through this is not in the order that things were announced necessarily, but the order that they were in the direct itself. Actually, let's do 3DS first.
Okay.
So that'll be in order. 3DS was stuff we already knew about. Luigi's Mansion. There's going to be a multiplayer mode. That's pretty cool. Bowser's Inside Story remake, which looks like how I remember the DS game looking.
Yeah.
But it probably looks a lot better, really. But I was like, wow. That's
did we know about this? Because like it seemed like at this point, I feel like they re-release Mario and Luigi games so frequently that I get confused about what they've re-released and what they haven't, and what they've announced and what they haven't. And
no, we knew about this one.
Okay.
It was announced, I don't know, in like some direct, and people were like, what, 2019 3DS games?
Yeah, okay. All right, okay.
It's like, well, get ready.
That sounds familiar. All right.
Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. That was the new one announced here. And this game rules to begin with. Did you play it on Wii?
No, I didn't.
Ooh, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, it would be super fun for you to play with your kids. Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder if I should get it for Wii though, if I want to play it with my kids. You know what I mean?
Probably.
That's the only thing.
It'll be like half the price.
And it's hooked up right back there. I could just boom, there we go. And the Wii is downstairs, so
no, it's super good. I think, I don't know. It will depend. I mean, I cannot commit to any 2019 3DS games. This is cool. And maybe when it comes out, I'll be like, yeah, I feel like playing that. Or maybe I'll be like, there are 80 million Switch games now. When am I going to play this? I bought WarioWare Gold for 3DS, and I was like, this is the last 3DS game I buy. And it's probably not. It kind of annoys me when, as with everyone, it's like, man, the Switch is so good, and I take it with me everywhere. Like, I want the games coming to that. But then also the idea of there not being new 3DS games anymore, kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'm mostly moved on, but I can see that. Yeah.
It's still I need something, you know, always coming out from these systems. Like it makes me so happy when I see like the Just Dance 2019 ads and it's and there's a Wii version.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yes, keep going, Wii. You got this.
Yeah, but you kind of
Um,
need a couple. You kind of need a couple years with no releases for systems, so that it can be fun when like somebody like decides I'm going to make a new Dreamcast game, you know, in whatever
that's true.
year or two. So, but
Yeah.
okay, but yeah, no, I think that game looks great. It's just you know, with some other similar looking games coming out too for Switch, it's like a little bit, you know, maybe I just play
Yeah.
that Yoshi game, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to go through some of the Switch third-party stuff, um, and talk about the ones that I think would interest us.
Okay.
Team Sonic Racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, like both of the Sonic and All Stars racing games were fantastic, especially Transformed, which I played so much of on Wii U. That is a fantastic game. I'm excited for Team Sonic Racing, even though it's all Sonic and not Sega characters, but I love Sonic characters. I'm cool with it. Um, that is coming out this winter. I believe it has a $40 price tag as
Okay. All
well,
right.
which is pretty sweet. Definitely going to be getting that. Let's see. Starlink Battle for Atlas
Mm-hmm.
is extremely Star Fox
Mm-hmm.
now. It's basically a Star Fox game, it seems,
Yeah.
on Switch at least. Um, it looks really fun. I need to. I need to. I hope there's a demo for it. Like I really hope there's a demo because if it like feels right, I would be like so down for that. Especially like I kind of want the R-Wing toy. Um but my worry is that like it's going to like be like this different kind of game with just like a Star Fox skin on it, and then that like doesn't really interest me. But if it plays like Star Fox, like sure.
Yeah, I think the early buzz was that it did kind of feel pretty Star Foxy, right? So, I mean, that, you know, sounds promising.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like it's kind of tricky like with Star Fox because it's such like a um it's like the games are just all over the place and like the flying just has to feel right. Um like you know, you look at games with like very different types of feels to them, like you know, Star Fox Zero or Star Fox Assault or the flying parts in Star Fox Adventures, and it's like all of those kind of feel a little different, and none of them quite feel great in their own ways. And like I think I actually really like Star Fox Assault, but uh yeah, I don't know, like I it I gotta get my hands on it myself, or have someone like I really trust describe it to me.
Yeah.
Because I also think people have very different experiences and expectations with Star Fox. I mean, even the difference between the original, like the SNES Star Fox and Star Fox 64, and then
Mm-hmm.
throw in Star Fox 2, like those all feel pretty different as well.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, and
I
I
don't
mean, if
know.
you look at the reaction to Star Fox Zero on Wii U, I mean, that's a good indicator too, because that game definitely has its supporters, but um, yeah, didn't work for me, you know. So
No, nope. Um, Splatoon 2 version 4 update. Um, Looking pretty sweet. I mean, it looks like Splatoon, but there are some crazy weapons, and I really like the one, maybe two stages that they showed off. Um, the very Japanese temple esque stage. which I think was maybe there were maybe like these like weird jumping pads or something in there. I mean, I only watched the direct once and we're recording like right after it, but there was like some cool looking stuff in that stage, and there's like so much cool art design in it, but also like the weapons of like those charge bombs and like the weird like Dragon Ball / Akuma like charge up like fireball thing from the sky that someone did, and um the some like giant toy hammer or something that was happening there. It looks like some pretty solid updates, and I believe with these versions that I think they're free. They didn't really say anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think they're free. Yeah, it says yeah, pretty sure like 4.0 is supposed to be available tonight, I think.
It starts tonight, yeah.
So
like
I
some
mean,
of the weapons start rolling out.
Got to be just an update, I think. And then it says 4.1. Yeah, I think they would give it a name. Like, I mean, well, they are referring to these weapons as the Kensa collection, I guess. But I think that if it was a DLC they were planning on selling, they would give it a name and make it more clear that it was, you know, going to be an additional product. So, yeah, I think it's just an update. You know, whenever you refer to something as version, you know, number, it's pretty much like this. You're not getting something really totally new. So I don't think they'd try to sell it that way. But
yeah, especially with the new stage, because that would like split the player base so hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, the stages are on such like timed rotation. Like, would there be? Yeah, like, would you like log in and be like, "Oh, you don't own this DLC, you can't actually play right now."
Yeah,
because we're playing on the stage. Yeah, it's got to be free.
Yeah, gotta be. Yeah, and like I'm most excited for the new stage and new songs, like especially new songs.
Yeah,
because when that skate park level came out and it had like the Splatoon version of ska music in it, that was really cool. Like that pretty much made it for me right there. So. Yeah, no, it's cool. Definitely to see that game getting more updates. I need to get back in and play more Splatoon too. It's been a while for me.
Yeah,
too much going on Switch.
Totally. Yeah, I actually haven't played for probably a month and a half, I'd say, which is crazy because I was playing like almost daily for a while.
Yeah, Ink182. I don't even want to tell you what my level is. It's embarrassing. So I really got to get in there and take care of business.
Like you got to raise that before we play again next.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'd be
so that you're not shamed. Also, levels in Splatoon mean like nothing. Like they're just like how long you've played. Right. I mean, except if you're doing like rank mode and stuff. Like I guess you do get access to different weapons up to like level 30 maybe. But yeah. Not a huge deal. Cool. So some like simmy games that are not really my thing, but I know Lindsay was excited about both of these. Sid Meier's Civilization 6 and Cities Skyline. These are both games that people spent like hundreds of hours on PC, and feel like they would be really great games to play on Switch, even though I don't think I will ever play either of them. City Skylines is available today.
Right.
Also.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, not probably my style of game either, but yeah, definitely cool that they're out. And that was my thought with Civ too, is like I know people like just put so much time into it. So to be able to have it on a Switch is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Like I've seen people playing that game on like laptops on planes.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, I think it will go pretty well. Something that's definitely more my jam is the Capcom beat 'em up bundle.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And this is crazy because it drops next week. Like, whoa, September 18th. So this is obviously Capcom classic arcade beat 'em ups. You are getting
Wait. The Nintendo press site says that the digital version of it launches in the eShop later this winter on Nintendo Switch this winter.
Well, on the Nintendo page, if you click on the link, it says coming September 18th, 2018.
Oh, well, they got to get their ducks in a row then.
Yeah, Nintendo press site, you're failing me right now.
Yeah.
But the games in here are Final Fight, Captain Commando, The King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, and Warriors of Fate, as well as 2 games that have never appeared on consoles that have been relegated to the arcades up until now, Armored Warriors and Battle Circuit. So this seems like a pretty robust package. Like Final Fight is not like super exciting. I mean, I love Final Fight, but like, you know, we get that game in a lot of places and we have for a while, but these other games, like we have not seen. I think like King of Dragons, Captain Commando, and maybe Knights of the Round, I think appeared on Super Nintendo, but Warriors of Fate, I don't even know. That was probably like a Japanese only Saturn game or something, or maybe appeared on like a Capcom compilation. But Armored Warriors and Battle Circuit, I've never even seen in an arcade, and I've definitely never played them. But like all of these just look super fun. The ones I haven't played look great, and it seems like a pretty robust package with like obviously like multiple difficulty levels. There's a gallery mode, offline like co-op play, and online play. Plus, you can play either the Japanese or English releases of these games. And this is all coming in a digital package for $20, which is crazy because like you could think about if these were released separately, they'd probably be like $7 to $10.
Yeah.
But no, like this is a crazy good deal.
Yeah, it's seems like a lot of value there, and it's really cool that it just came out of nowhere. And I think this could be really fun for multiplayer, either online or local. I don't think any word on who like did the ports or anything like that, but we can probably assume they're pretty solid, right? I mean,
I've never really played like bad Capcom arcade ports that I can think of.
Okay,
like they're always pretty solid, like dating back to the collections on like Saturn and like PS2 and all those like are always pretty solid.
Nice.
Yeah. Damon Ex Machina is looking better every time I see it. I'm like, now that I actually know what the game is, I'm getting pretty stoked for it. It looks fantastic. Osmodee Digital. Like, wow, what is this?
So like I think, what is it, Catan, is that what it's called? Which is a tabletop game. So this is a company that does, do they make the games, like the tabletop games? And
no,
digital...
I don't think so. I think they just
specializes in making digital versions of these tabletop games.
Yeah, so probably I would assume probably been doing like iPad versions of the games. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I love the concept. None of those games look very appealing to me, really, to be honest, like the games that they showed off there. Yeah. But I do like the concept of like, you know, high quality, I assume high quality, you know, digital versions of tabletop games, especially with an online mode, which I think it had, right? So I think it did. I don't know if it has an online mode. That's cool. Like, it'd be fun to be able to play, you know, like especially if you have a group of friends that used to do tabletop games together and they live in different places, to be able to do a tabletop game digitally like that would be really cool. So, I know I've resorted to playing Star Wars Trivial Pursuit over Skype with, everybody having a board out at their own house and stuff like that. But like a digital version of something that I actually play like a tabletop game, I think I would be super into. So, but I don't know about these games for me, but I'm sure there's a whole audience of people that are into this kind of thing that, why not,
Yeah, I think it's cool as like a first step. Like bringing like these are like heavy hitting tabletop games. Like I've heard of all of these, even though I've never played them, but I've like literally heard of every one of these. And I know people like them a lot. I mean, I will say, Lord of the Rings living card game. That one is one I could potentially see myself getting. Because I think I read somewhere, I was like researching tabletop games at some point, and if this is the same Lord of the Rings card game, I don't know if it's this or if it's like Middle Earth card game or something, but one of them apparently is like really fun to play solo. And if they like have that, or in these games, if they have like AI competitors and stuff, so you could play solo.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
They definitely mentioned a solo mode. I do remember them saying like there's a solo mode in there. So
I like it. But yeah, I mean, what I would love for this to be a success, and then open the door to like Dungeons and Dragons, bringing like an app over where you could like get different modules and stuff, would be amazing on Switch, especially with like online mode, or even just like, I think it would also just be awesome for like, like pure tabletop gaming, because you could like take your Switch to like a bar or a coffee shop or something and play with people. Could be really cool. And then also some of the Star Wars tabletop games would be fantastic.
I could definitely get into that. We played Monopoly over here, like Nintendo Monopoly recently, and that was really fun. And I could see where, they could bring in like sound effects and like cool visuals and stuff, and really kind of do it up. And that seems like, I think I've mentioned that before on the show when like a Monopoly game or something was coming out. It's like, man, they could really do really fun stuff with digital versions of tabletop games as far as like atmosphere and visuals and sound and stuff, and put some online into it. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how this shakes out and how the actual experience is. But I don't know. I think this is a cool thing. I mean, I remember you and I talking about how we would love we wanted a D&D game on Wii U and never got that. But maybe we could get something on Switch.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. Katamari Damacy Reroll. This is an HD remaster of the original Katamari game, which many fans can consider to be the best in the series. I'm slightly more partial to We Love Katamari, but this is definitely my number 2 pick. And it is coming to Switch digitally on November 30th, a physical package version coming winter 2018. And it sounds like, from what I read, this is a Switch console exclusive, which really surprised me.
Yeah.
It's also coming to Steam, but it's not coming to Xbox or PS4, which is really surprising because the game in the series debuted on PS2.
Yeah, I associate it with PlayStation. It just seems like a PlayStation franchise to me. So, but there's some other games I associate with PlayStation that are coming to Switch too that we found out about in this direct. So I mean, why
not? Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game is just awesome. It will be perfect on Switch. Most of the handheld, or I would say pretty much all of the handheld versions of Katamari have disappointed in one way or another. This one I don't believe will. And it also shows a considerable investment and level of faith in the Switch from Namco Bandai to take a game like this that could easily be multi-platform and be like, no, it's just for Switch.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm excited. Let's go Pikachu. Let's go Eevee. You can brush their hair.
Yeah. I got a big pop from my kids. They got a big reaction. They laughed a lot at that.
Got a big pop from Lindsay and I too.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's exciting. Pikachu's on a surfboard. Everything's crazy. It's so good. I'm super excited for that. Super Mario Party, 80 new mini games. I don't know. I didn't know that going into this. I always expect a degree of like recycling of games in Mario Party. I don't know if that's fair or not, but hearing 80 new mini games, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, both Lindsay and I are really excited to play this. We had a fantastic Mario Party on for New Year's Eve this year, or last year, I guess, beginning of this year, and had so much fun playing Mario Party. And I'm excited to play some Mario Party on Switch, especially with that crazy like tabletop switching mode that I still don't really understand how it works. But oh my goodness, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I'm really hoping it'll be super fun for like me, my wife, and both kids to play. And so that one I'm pretty pumped, and it's coming out like really quickly here, just a couple weeks. So
yeah,
I got to start saving some pennies so I can grab that one early October.
Yeah, for sure. Town. Town time. Yeah, it's a new RPG from Game Freak, the creators of Drill Dozer and Pocket Card Jockey. And in this game, it's apparently an RPG where you just travel a single town fighting monsters. It seems, I don't know, like, I don't really know how that's like a selling point for a JRPG, but it's Game Freak and they are wonderful, and I'm sure whatever this is will be really cool.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to make of it from the video. I was a little distracted by other stuff going on, but I love the look of it. And it seemed very like, I mean, it didn't look like Dragon Quest, but almost like Dragon Quest, like the way that's like a very like, kind of, how do I put, like the basics of an RPG, you know what I mean? Like it's just like a colorful world, and you have your monsters, and like the story is like, oh, you're in a town, and then the monsters show up, and what do you mean? It's like the basic plot, you know what I mean? It was like and anyway, like but I like that, and I like the way it looked and everything. But I'm curious, like especially with the idea of it being just in that town, like is it like a 5-hour long RPG download only or something, or is it meant to be some like larger game? I don't know. I mean, I would kind of assume it's like a smaller game. If that's the case, color me super excited. Like if it's like a tiny RPG, I would be so into that. Oh
man,
like a micro RPG, I would go. That would be great.
Yeah,
and I know Game Freak's pretty busy with like a couple Pokemon games right now, right? So, I mean, obviously they have multiple teams or whatever, I guess, but it seems hard to imagine they could be doing like this whole other like big RPG at the same time as developing, finishing up Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu plus whatever this next like actual Pokemon game is.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I also would love a 5 to 10 hour RPG that looks like super whimsical and like classical anime like that. That would be a hot jam. But if they somehow make it work and it's like a bigger RPG, like that's cool too. but I am currently downloading what appears to be from what I've read, a 10 to 15 hour RPG on my Switch right now. That was part of the Final Fantasy extravaganza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, do you like Nintendo Switch? Do you like Final Fantasy? Because holy crap, there's a lot of Final Fantasy coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, but I'm still angry because there's no theater rhythm, you know?
Right on.
I was hoping for some theater rhythm, even just like a re-release of the first two, you know, like
yeah.
Switch,
I mean, yeah.
But there's a ton of other Final Fantasy coming. It's crazy,
totally.
Actually. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Like, all right. So we're getting,
okay, Final Fantasy 7 on a Nintendo platform on the Switch.
First time ever.
Pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 9.
Mm-hmm. Arguably the best PS1 Final Fantasy, if you're not counting Final Fantasy Tactics, which wins every time.
Okay, I wouldn't know, but is 9 the one that kind of returns more to like a fantasy setting instead of? Okay, so that sounds pretty exciting.
That one's pretty in your wheelhouse.
Okay,
it's really good.
Okay, and then the 10 and 10-2 HD remasters that I believe like were originally on Vita. Is that right?
It was on PS3. Vita, and then it came to PS4 and Steam.
Okay, so it's been kind of everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your take on 10 and 10-2? Are you into those ones or not as much?
Not as much. They're probably my least favorite numbered Final Fantasies.
Okay.
People love them though, and that's fine. I played through it. I played through it again on PS4, and my thoughts on it haven't really changed since when I originally played through it on PS2. It's good, but it has a lot of really annoying elements. But there's a few things they could do to make it way more enjoyable, like having for example, skipping cutscenes, which you cannot do in the PS2 version or the PS4 version, which is ridiculous because if you fight a boss and they beat you, then you have to go back and watch their like long-winded cutscene that takes like 2 or 3 minutes before fighting them again. And it is awful. Also, the voice acting is terrible in this game. It's like infamously bad. Like you've probably even seen like the meme of like Titus laughing. That's like super ridiculous. And like there's some very questionable accents in the game that I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay. This was early days of localization with voice acting. This is 2001 when it originally came out on PS2, and it does not sound great. And it definitely does not sound great in like 2016 or whenever I played through it on PS4. So, but if they had the original Japanese voice acting in there, that I could get excited about.
Okay.
But, I think Final Fantasy X-2 is a little bit better than 10 because 10 is this like deadly serious game, but it's like really poorly presented through like super stiff cutscenes and like bad voice acting and having to replay parts and rewatch cutscenes over and over again. But 10-2 is just like really goofy and silly and kind of pointless, but also kind of fun. And I think that like holds up better in a weird way because it's so like campy to begin with. So I don't know. That's Final Fantasy X and X-2.
Well, how about Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age?
Heck yeah. I played through this on PS4 last year. Last year sounds right. Maybe the year before. I don't know. Whenever it came out on PS4, I played through it, finished it again. Still so good. That game, Final Fantasy 12, is like systems upon systems upon systems set in this like crazy, the story and world is like this crazy mashup of like King Arthur and Shakespeare and heavily Star Wars. as well. It's there are some very similar thematic and some very blatant Star Wars elements in it as well. So that is pretty rad. That game is still so good. Super underrated soundtrack as well. One of the best in the series. It is a hot jam.
Okay, so it sounds like for me, you recommend 9 the most out of these 4, and then 12 would be where we.
Yes, 9 and 12 are the ones I can like recommend with like no hesitation. 7 and 10 and 10 too. Like there's some hesitation there.
Yeah,
on those
yeah,
two.
Yeah. And I've played 7 before, and I liked it. I liked 7.
I like 7.
It
I just don't think it's aged particularly well.
Yeah, it didn't blow me away because I played it way after it came out. Like I played it on a
PS3, didn't you?
PS3, yeah. So
yeah,
I think I played the end on a Vita somehow. I think I played the end on Dan's Vita or something weird like that. So I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, which I've barely even ever played a Vita in my life. But I think I played a little bit on the Vita, but or PSP. No. I played it on the PSP. Dan let me borrow his PSP for months so I could play Final Fantasy VII. That's what it was. Because I remember like trying to take on the final boss like in the car driving home from Indianapolis, and I was like, how did I do that on a PS3? So yeah. Anyways, I played it. It's a good game. But yeah, I don't know if I'd be that excited to go back and play it, but I am glad that it's coming to Switch. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think I'll probably grab it on Switch. It is like, I played through it again when they had like the PS4. It's not even a remaster. Like remaster is a very generous term. It's a port with like a fast forward button. Yeah. And there's some stuff that like gets me nostalgically. Like it was a game I bought on the day it came out on PS1, and like there's stuff I really like about Final Fantasy VII, but I just think it's like kind of not as great these days. But
sure,
that happens.
Yeah. Tell me about Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD. What is this?
It's a game I just bought, and it's downloading on my Switch right now.
Okay.
It's supposedly like a 10 to 15 hour condensed version of Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
Which is a game I mostly enjoyed. I played through it again on PS4. I mostly enjoyed it. It has some quirks to it, but this version is like, it basically takes the core of Final Fantasy 15, like the actual like story sections, and streamlines them without like this all like the open world stuff, it seems. And it's all in like this kind of like PS1 Final Fantasy coat of paint. Like it basically looks like Final Fantasy VII on PS1, which is kind of cool. Like, the PS1 Final Fantasy games are not the ones I have nostalgia for. I would actually prefer if it looked like Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, well, that'd probably be more expensive.
Yeah, that would probably be harder to do. But I mean, that's like a dream of mine. But yeah, I'm buying it kind of sight unseen, which is a little bit scary when it comes to modern Square Enix games. But there just aren't many reviews for this out there because it was originally a
smartphone, right?
Yeah, it was like a mobile game, but it was also on the like Windows 10 store. Which is also not like a super ideal place for me to play video games, just because I don't really play stuff on my PC. But yeah, I don't know, something like, and it's not like I get super excited about Final Fantasy 15 either. Like I said, it was a game that like I've pretty mixed emotions about. But here we go. I'll report in on it next episode.
How much is it?
It's the regular price is $29.99, and it's like the introductory price that it's priced at right now at launch is $17.99.
Okay.
So
That
that's
sounds about more like it, but yeah. Okay.
yeah. Whereas like if it had launched in the eShop at $30, I don't think I would have bought it.
Right.
But when games come out at that magic under $20 price, and I'm like mildly interested, and I'm like on some like Nintendo Direct hype vibes,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm like, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure
Yeah.
that helped for a lot of people. World of Final Fantasy Maxima, maybe the one I'm most excited about so far. I never played
Yes.
that game, but I do remember being like, oh, that's like that looks really fun and cute and stuff like that. So it sounds like it's like an updated version of the game that was previously released. I think
Yeah.
Maxima refers to, right?
Sure.
Okay.
That's kind of Japanese game titling.
Yeah.
You take a game that came out, add some side quests and stuff, and then it's a new adjective at the
Right.
end. Yeah, this was a game that I was so close to buying on PS4, like so many times, but like I could never really bring myself to do it. Like
So you haven't played it?
I haven't.
Oh wow, okay.
Like it was one that I was always kind of like, yeah, I want this, but I don't know. Because I'm also just like, I just haven't bought RPGs on consoles in a few years. Like I really just don't buy them. Um, because I know I don't ever get through them on consoles. I mean, I just finished The Witcher 3 like last month or 2 months ago, and I got that game when it came out, so like 3 years ago. Like that's about how long it takes me to finish an RPG on a console. But whereas on handhelds, it only takes me like 1 year to finish an RPG. So yeah, I think it was just like the platform just wasn't ideal for me. So I passed on it, and I'm glad I did, because now we're getting like a hopefully better version of the game, and it's going to be playable on your TV or on Switch. That's cool.
Okay. Chocobos Mystery Dungeon, everybody. Looks cool.
Believe me when I say this might be the most exciting announcement out of all of these, because Chocobos Mystery Dungeon on Wii is arguably my favorite Final Fantasy from that generation. This game is so secretly great. It is it's developed by Chunsoft in collaboration with Square Enix, and it's they develop like the Shiren the Wanderer series, and this is like the most accessible and possibly polished of all of their games in that in their like weird little niche of like roguelike dungeon crawlers. Like I think this is better than any sharing game I've played, any Pokemon's Mystery Dungeon I've played, which I like all those games, but like this one is the jam. It has like sweet versions of Final Fantasy music. It doesn't feel like the game hates you. Like it's actually like pretty manageable, and it is just like so addicting and such a blast to play. And it's one of my favorite Wii games. We still have like a complete box copy of it here. Lindsay still goes back and plays it, and I don't think she's ever played a roguelike before. And she's or like it's definitely not or she played Darkest Dungeon, but like it's definitely not like a super her jam genre. But she like loves this game and goes back to it every once in a while. And I don't know exactly like what this version is, if it is like a polished remake of the Wii version, or if it's like a new Chocobo dungeon game. But there's going to be like co-op, which is really exciting for Lindsay and I, because we both love this game. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited. It's like there's so much like Final Fantasy like nostalgia in there, especially just like the music is so good. At least in the Wii version. So this is really, really exciting. I didn't know if this was like, because we haven't gotten one of these since the Wii game, I think. And like it's just really exciting that this franchise is back and it's on Switch, which is the perfect platform for this type of game. And wow, so cool.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So last one, which we knew about before the direct, but Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition with online multiplayer coming out next year.
Yeah. I'm a very sad person who played a good chunk of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles solo, which is not the way to play that game. It's really cumbersome. And I still liked it a ton. I've never actually had a chance to play it multiplayer, but I think it's like a really cool, just a really cool design. And I remember it was one of the best looking GameCube games. Like it looked amazing on GameCube, and it had like an incredible soundtrack of like I think like pretty much all original tunes. It wasn't like just a remix of like old Final Fantasy songs. It was like all new stuff, and it was like so good. It just was like playing it was just locked behind like a stupid amount of hardware, in the same way like Four Swords Adventures on GameCube was, where you like, I don't know anyone who got like the full experience of that game on GameCube. But yeah, I mean, I have faith that since like with this game, like way more like there's such a lower barrier to entry. You don't have to have like a separate like two consoles and like link cables and stuff to play this game. And I think like I have so many friends who own Switches and like Final Fantasy that I think it will actually be possible to find like an online party to play with, and actually see the whole game. And I know like Lindsay and I will be able to play it as well. So I'm super excited about this.
Yeah. I don't think I ever did play this game on GameCube, so but I always was interested. I ended up getting, there was a Crystal Chronicles on GBA, no,
DS.
I think I had that one.
Two of them.
I had one of those, I think. So that
those
I played a little
pretty
bit.
Fun. I played both of them, and yeah, I thought they were pretty fun.
Yeah, but no, this could definitely be cool to get a group together and play some Crystal Chronicles would for sure be fun. So
yeah, we'll see. It's a 2019 game, and I feel like Nintendo after this direct has a lot of games coming in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna let you hit these next two.
Okay.
Yoshi's Crafted World and New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
Sure. Yeah. Yoshi's Crafted World, looking, similar to how it has the last couple times we've seen it. Although this flip side thing I think is new, and that looks pretty fun. It looks like almost like a baby's first attempt at finding secret stuff mode kind of thing, because it's like go through the whole level and then just like turn it around so you can find secrets. But I don't know how hard they'll be to find, especially if you're just like, kind of seeing behind the level sort of thing. I mean, there probably some of them will still be tough, but it's like reminiscent to me of Paper Mario on Wii with the flipping in and out of like 2D and 3D. And I mean, obviously this is 3D either way, but I don't know. Well, I guess it's a 2D like perspective 3D world, but yeah, I don't know. It looks really. We were watching, me and Owen and Elliot. Elliot was like, "Oh, this game looks kind of cute." About Yoshi. Yeah, definitely does. Definitely does. So, but yeah, he told me he wants it, and I want to play it too. So, I think it looks really fun. And yeah, that backside thing is definitely compelling. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I'm here for it. Like, I'm down to get it. I think again. I played through all of it, and all of New Super Luigi U. Actually, my wife and I, Tasha, we did that together. And Owen helped out. He played as Nabbit back in the day. He would have been pretty young, probably like 4 or 5 or something. So, yeah, I mean, it should be fun. I think that I want to get it physical, and then, you know, Owen, he's got his own Switch. He can play it and maybe build up some 2D Mario skill. That would be cool for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love the game. I don't know if I'm going to go through and play all of it like I had before and get all the star coins and like do all that stuff like I did before. But I like the idea of this game coming out on Switch, and it was great. I mean, it was a really good, you know, 2D Mario game. So I think coming out on a more successful platform is a good thing for it. I'd actually love to see like a whole new Super Mario collection of some kind. You know, that would be great too. But that is the one thing. I mean, there's not that much in this to excite like somebody like me who's really played the entirety of this package, you know. And the way they kind of talked about it was like, we're not even going to charge extra for all the new Super Mario or all the new Super Luigi stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, I would think not, because I know you're going to charge $60 for this game, and it's like 5 years old, and, you know, like we've all already played it. So let's see, Nabbit, you can play as Nabbit, and Toadette, and Toadette can turn into Peachette with a power up. So I mean, that's nice, but, you know, again, it's a good release for January, I feel like, because it's something that like I'm happy that it's coming, and I will probably enjoy it, but it's also it's not something I'm super excited about.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more excited about it, just because I played through New Super Mario Brothers U. I did not get all of the star coins because that's not really my jam. But I never played through Super Luigi U. So that on Switch should be cool. And I'm excited to try out like how these new characters feel, because like they definitely have like the Funky Kong vibe to them. Like they seem to make the game easier. Like Nabbit doesn't take damage. And what was the other one? Oh, Toadette, who turns into Peach, which is really weird.
It's very weird. Well, Peachette turns into Peachette.
Yeah, but she has like the sort of Super Mario Brothers 2 or Super Mario Brothers USA sort of like skirt glide.
Yeah,
thing.
and the parasol comes out, I think.
Yeah,
floats, right. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it does say here, like, between both games, there are 164 courses to play. Like, that sounds good on my Switch.
No, it's plenty of Mario. It's definitely plenty of 2D Mario. So,
but I liked New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe a ton. Yeah, the game's awesome. I kind of wish that they would, or maybe like release it as like DLC or something. But New Super Mario Brothers 2 on 3DS, pretty great game that I feel like does not get talked about at all. And I think like it's weird to think, but there definitely was a time when people were like, oh my God, no more 2D Mario.
Oh yeah, I was getting kind of sick of it for sure. Yeah, I mean, it was just, yeah, they're all really similar though too. It's like no more 2D Mario. Well, we didn't say that in 1989 or 1991 or whatever. That's because the games were pretty different. Versus the new Super Mario Brothers game is like the same look and very similar feel between all of them. They were all great, you know, and it had been a long time since we'd gotten a game like that. So I think it was a different time for sure. But now, yeah, I think whatever they do with Mario 2D going forward, as far as new games go, they need to probably not get stuck in a rut the sort of way they did. Like, it's a great rut to be stuck in, but like some more variety I think is necessary with something like that. So
yeah, I mean, it does remind me of like times when people are like, no more Mega Man, and like no more
Castlevania, no more Igavania.
And and now look where we are.
Right. That's true.
But I mean, Mega Man 11 was also shown in this. I guess we we'll maybe talk about that if we ever get to the games we've been playing. So Nintendo Switch Online. What did you think about how it was presented here?
I honestly thought, I mean, I guess there's not that much to say, but I kind of thought they would spend more time detailing the features or just kind of going into it. But I don't know. I think the big thing is really the cloud saves, which it sounds like is going to be pretty automatic and not something that's like a feature you're going to notice so much as just it's it's going to be there to save you if your Switch breaks. If a giant like POW block falls on your Switch, then as it did in the video.
No, that was a womp.
Yeah. No, I knew that.
Yeah, you did, because you're Mr. Mario, right?
Hey, remember earlier in the show when you pronounced the word compilation? Okay, like I didn't call you out. I let it slide. Okay,
well, that was me not being able to talk well. This is you like completely getting something wrong.
I misspoke. But yeah, so the thing that I'm really the most excited for is the NES games, and that I thought was great. So
that was surprising. Like, we got more than I expected.
Well, okay, so here's a couple things I think we know based on this video. Number one, we know that the games will probably be accessible through a portal of some kind that has like all of these games in it versus like an icon on your Switch screen for each game, because it looks like a completely different interface. And kind of a slick, pretty nice looking interface. Like big, nice looking box art and all that kind of stuff. So that I'm pretty into for sure. I think we also know, and forgive me or correct me if I'm wrong, but did we know for sure about third-party games as part of this service?
Nope.
Because Bowser and Bowser Jr., unless I got that wrong too, Ryan, I don't know, let me know. But Bowser and Bowser Jr. were playing Ghosts and Goblins, right?
Yeah.
Or Ghouls and Ghosts. There's so much you can screw up on a podcast. It was one of those games. Which
that's why we stopped doing this for a while.
So we saw that, and I think some other, I can't remember. There was like some other third-party box art in that menu screen too, I think.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about this.
Okay, Ryan, you tell me.
All right, let me break it down for you. So there will be 20 NES games available when the service launches. And that's going to be September 18th. Yeah. Cool. And I'm just going to real quick I'm just going to list off these games. Soccer, Super Mario Brothers, The Legend of Zelda, Ghosts and Goblins, Excite Bike, Tennis, Balloon Fight, Super Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Ice Climber, Double Dragon, yay! Gradius, Ice Hockey, yay! Mario Brothers, Dr. Mario, River City Ransom, what? Yay!
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling. Woo!
Yeah.
Those are the launch titles.
Okay, yeah. So there's definitely a couple of third-party games like Tecmo Bowl and Ghosts and Goblins and River City Ransom. So yeah, nice.
Double Dragon. You could play some online Abobo versus Abobo fights.
Yeah, totally.
I can't believe it. So good. I think, I was texting with Kevin while you were still watching the direct, and like ice hockey and pro wrestling online, I'm gonna put some time into that.
Yeah.
Those are like two of my all-time favorite, like I guess competitive multiplayer online games, or not online games, multiplayer games. Again with the screw ups, and they are coming. I think also like playing through River City Ransom. Like I'm just excited to be able to play River City Ransom on Switch. Like I would really like to see if I could get Lindsay into playing it, because I mean it's one of like my favorite games. ever. So that's awesome. And then in October, Solomon's Key, which was big in Japan, NES Open Tournament Golf, which is fine.
Yeah, we had that on the ambassador list of games, I think.
Yeah. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But then another one of my absolute favorite multiplayer games on NES, Super Dodgeball.
That is exciting.
Yeah, that does sound good. Then November, Metroid.
Mm.
I don't hate that idea.
No.
Mighty Bomb Jack. Okay. And Twinbee. Random. But then December is when things get really weird. Starting with the last, what I believe is the last
published game for NES
for
the
Nintendo? NES. Yeah. Wario's Woods. Not a great swan song for the NES. They probably should have stopped at like Kirby's Adventure or something, but cool. Ninja Gaiden. That game rules. Mm-hmm. And then Adventures of Lolo, which also rules.
Yeah. That's
go ahead.
I mean, no, I was just going to say, like, this is much more clearly kind of like positioning itself as a successor or replacement for Virtual Console. Mm-hmm. Seeing like monthly, releases and seeing third-party releases. Now, obviously, it's only one platform as of now with NES, but it definitely seems like a better method. I'm going to say, I think to me, it seems like a better method for Virtual Console than what we were doing before.
Absolutely.
So it's really exciting. And actually, if it's not too soon to talk about the controllers, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Available for pre-purchase only by Nintendo Switch Online members. I didn't realize that. A 2-pack of wireless controllers offers the perfect way to play these classic games. I was thinking you'd be able to pick these up in a store or something. It sounds like you have to order online through Nintendo. That's fine, whatever.
Like people were mad about this on Twitter. That was the first thing I saw when I went on Twitter after the direct. People were like furious about this, but then it's like you can only play these NES games if you're a member of the service.
Mm-hmm.
These controllers would be pretty much worthless to just have for your Switch. Like, and if you how many games would actually use them?
If you just want a controller with a D-pad and some buttons, you can buy plenty of 8-bit DOE options or other, controllers. So yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but the outrage, but, or whatever, frustration. But what I was going to say is that, it kind of makes the NES Classic. It definitely takes the shine off the NES Classic at this point. I still need to go out and pick up a replacement since I had ended up selling mine before, and I definitely want to get one. And they're around, so I will pick one up. But like now that like third-party games, well, there's third-party games on that too, but just like games being updated and more games coming out for it, and then being able to use these wireless NES controllers, and it's so cool that you can charge them just by like sliding them onto the dock like Joy-Con. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The one thing I would say, if people would have a legitimate reason to kind of complain or whatever, is that there's still not a great D-pad option for playing these games portably. So a big part of the appeal here is like, I want to sit down and play NES games portably, and I want a decent D-pad to do that with, and that's not really something that we're getting here. Like, you can do tabletop, but like what do you mean? Well,
okay, so it doesn't seem like these games are going to be like playable portably. Like without a Wi-Fi connection. Like, it seems like you have to be like logged in to the Nintendo online service to access these, in the same way like you have to be logged into Netflix to access the games. So you're pretty much like,
yeah, but I could lay in my bed and play them handheld at my house on Wi-Fi,
and that's when you slide those controllers on to your Switch and play with the D-pad and buttons in like really weird orientations.
Oh wait, no way, really? See, okay, I only watched this thing once. I watched it once, and like I was busy, and I was like, hyped up. I was thinking the point of putting them on the dock was like, or putting them, it was just like to charge them or whatever. Like, I didn't realize the idea was that you were supposed to stick them on, and then you could like use them as a controller. But I did hear him say like, here's the left side and here's the right side, as if it like mattered or whatever. So. Is that the concept that they?
I think so.
I don't think so. They would like hang off in a weird like.
Yeah, they do.
Oh my God, are you for real?
But I think so. I'm ready to try it.
I mean, yeah. I guess so. I'm like looking at the site here. I'm not seeing anything. Whoa. Nobody told me I was going to get like Famicom themed jerseys and Squid Kid shoes in Splatoon 2 if I get a 12-month membership to Nintendo Online.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Remember, it's $20 also.
I don't know, man. I think you're dreaming on I think you just came up with a real weird concept, because I'm looking at the description on the site and it says features rechargeable battery, attach the controllers to the system to charge them, and available as a set of 2 controllers for competitive and cooperative fun. But I don't see anything about like be a total weirdo and try to slide this thing onto your Switch and use it as I don't know. I don't think so.
We'll find out.
Okay.
Did you also see that in Japan they're getting Famicom variations of these?
I didn't.
Ooh.
Okay, so now I have to like trick them into shipping them to an American address, like with my Japanese Nintendo. I'd have to buy us. Okay. Well, no, because I'm going to get a family membership. I don't know. Maybe you can't apply that to a Japanese account. I don't know.
Yeah. Though, I mean, I don't know. I still don't understand how the family membership stuff works. But all I know is that when we're in Japan this December, I am going to be hunting for these like crazy.
Like in a resale shop?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
so I mean, either way, it's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Like next year they'll launch Super Nintendo and do the same thing with Super Nintendo controllers or something? Or like, I wonder what the plan is, because this is pretty great. Like it's definitely kind of the NES Classic 2.0, like way better version of it, So they made a ton of cash with the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, and they're great little systems, and they're cool. But if you have a Switch, I mean, this is way better. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see kind of where it goes from here. But yeah, I mean, if they just keep kind of putting out a couple games a month for years, like that would be great. I think it's just about right. I don't have time to play 20 NES games a month anyway. So if they put out a couple and especially the ones that have, multiplayer, like in October, are a bunch of people going to be playing like NES Open Golf and Dodgeball together online. I mean, it seems like we will be, right?
I love that idea. I think Dodgeball, if I remember correctly, was that a 4-player
I'm not sure.
game? Like that you could play on like the 4Score or whatever? Because if they have like four-player online NES Dodgeball, it's over.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way I will hang out with people going forward is if we are playing Dodgeball.
What's the first NES game you're going to play on Tuesday?
The first game I'm going to play
I think you're going to play like 20 minutes of Zelda as your first game.
I was going to say like I'm probably going to play through Zelda
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think like that's the way I gotta christen it. And that would be the game that will like really give me an idea how good this service is, because I know that game so well. I'll know if like any tiny thing is off with like the music or the speed or anything, because like that game is just pure muscle memory to me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. Probably Probably Super Mario Brothers, honestly, like for the same reason, just because it's like this is, you know, almost like the built-in software on the Nintendo on the NES, and that's probably the game on the list that I know the best. I don't know Mario 3 as well as a lot of other people do, because I only owned it for about 2 weeks on the NES, so obviously I played it a bunch of times since then. But yeah, probably Mario. And then I'm be excited to play stuff like well, Zelda for sure, but also Double Dragon and Ghosts and Goblins, at least the first stage or two, because that's probably about as far as I can get. But
also that NES part sucks.
What's that? Oh, the NES, yeah. So, but no, I mean, I'm excited for a lot of those games, but yeah, should be cool. I can pretend to know about football and play Tecmo Bowl. Yeah, it should be great. I'm definitely looking forward to trying the whole pass the Joy-Con thing online too.
Yeah,
that should be fun.
You know what I am noticing about these games though?
What's that?
Doesn't seem to be any like rewind or save states.
That's true. Yeah, it looks like it only has a suspend feature, right?
Yeah, so we're kind of going back to like Wii Virtual Console days. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if like the in-game saving will be enabled, and if those saves will just be like in the cloud, and like how that stuff's gonna work. Like in Zelda, will you just be able to? Will it only have like suspend capabilities, or will it have like a cloud save using like the typical save system in Zelda, or what's going on with that?
When you play Zelda on Tuesday, I'm just gonna jump in with this like hand cursor and like slide it all over the screen constantly. Just
great
where tips and hints are, you know?
Yeah, actually, I want to like that. Actually, is really cool. I think I would love to have you be playing Zelda and me like be pointing around, showing you like where to bomb and which bushes to burn in the overworld and stuff.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah. As we're chatting on our phones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, but the great thing about that is somebody else can come in and join the conversation if they want to, because I'm talking to you on speakerphone.
Yeah.
And hearing
I actually like it's really funny how like I was like watching that and I was like, Nintendo, how do you make the worst thing imaginable seem like kind of fun?
Yeah.
like I've used this. It's terrible, but then I picture a situation where like Luigi sneaks up behind me on my couch and then is like, "Rrr," and it's like suddenly like, whoa, we're having fun here.
It did make a lot more sense though. Like it helped me understand what they could possibly be thinking with this service though when they presented it that way. Almost like because I'm like, why would I want like one headphone in giving me game audio, but then I can't hear the TV unless I have one headphone out and all that stuff. It's like, no, they just want you to use it like a slightly improved version of the Wii Speak thing, you know, like that's all they actually wanted to be. Wasn't that what it's called? Wii Speak?
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so, we have some breaking news here. Just showed up on, I was just browsing Twitter as we were talking.
Let me guess, the NES controller is not meant to be hung sideways on the Switch and used as a dockable.
Nope, I'm still going with that.
Okay.
We got some details about the upcoming Sega Ages games.
Ooh.
Sonic 2, the drop dash ability will be added.
Yep.
Which is the drop dash from Sonic Mania.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting. Online rankings for Time Attack.
Okay.
Yes. Ring keep mode, which was awesome in the 3DS version, where you would like you wouldn't lose like all your
like half of them or something, right? Or some variation. Yeah.
And then Supersonic mode, where you start with all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Pretty cool.
That is cool.
I believe that was in the 3DS version.
3DS,
yeah. Sega Ages Outrun, 60 frames per second, widescreen.
Ooh.
2 BGMs added from the 3DS version, so 2 of the new songs for Outrun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the new songs that they composed.
Oh, okay.
For it.
Okay.
Those are coming. more BGMs will be added. Gyro controller support.
Ooh.
So you could simulate a racing wheel.
Yeah.
I wonder if it will have like Labo wheel support. Oh my god. Tuning up feature that will allow you to customize cornering, engine, tire, and bumper parts.
Whoa.
Which is brand new.
Yeah.
That does sound good. Sega Ages Columns 2, online versus, offline versus, lower difficulty option. Woo!
Nice.
Sega Ages Thunder Force AC, Thunder Force 3, score attack mode for every difficulty. Kids mode that was originally included in the Sega Saturn Thunder Force Gold Pack 2, which is super expensive. Auto fire option, exclusive extra features to be detailed later. Well, good.
Yeah.
Those sound awesome.
That does sound
good. Yeah. Cool. So we can keep going. Anyway, Nintendo Online is going to be a ton of fun. Like, I mean, like, yeah, like I can, whine and complain that it's like not, Xbox Live or whatever, but like that kind of wasn't what I was looking for. With Nintendo Online, I was looking for something kind of weird that would provide weird fun. And I mean, these 20 NES games, like I'm gonna make like a week or a weekend out of them, like pretty much.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be awesome. There are some things I want to know about. Like I want to know if they'll have manuals in them, like scans of the manuals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like questions about the save system, all that. But that will be fun to explore. This is like totally fresh and cool. And I agree with you. It is the way to go with virtual console in the the
yeah, I have questions about where Bubble Bobble is also, but
I do too. Also, there's like some weird omissions here.
Yeah, like Mario 2?
Mario 2, Zelda 2, Urban Champion. Come on, Nintendo. But
Balloon Fight's not on that list either, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it
Balloon
is? Okay.
There, yeah.
That because that always gets the re-release treatment, so.
Oh, yeah.
The launch re-release treatment.
For sure. But this is going to be fun.
You know what's a super weird omission for October? Castlevania. Like, come on, man. Get Castlevania on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was actually, Castlevania was a weird omission from the Direct too. I don't know what Konami is thinking or doing, but like we've got Simon Belmont in Smash Brothers coming out in December. Like, how did you not take this opportunity to get at the very least Castlevania on the online service, or better, like, I mean, there's so many things they could do. They could just re-release that Castlevania Adventure remake from WiiWare. They could put out a collection of games, like do something with Castlevania on Switch yesterday, please.
Well, maybe in the October Smash Direct, the monthly Smash Direct.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Can we do speaking of Smash? No, we can't yet. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yep.
That looks hecka Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, I mean, so it was just basically like a CG like movie type thing, right? Like
that kind of looked like gameplay. Like gameplay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I mean that's exciting. I would love to go back and play Luigi's Mansion 2, finish it this year. I don't know if I'll do it or not, but that game was fun, and the first one's great, and yeah, I love the concept. I mean, it's an amazing concept. So probably next fall, right? We would assume Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah,
maybe summer, but I bet fall.
Oh yes, that should be like an October 20th release date.
I think September 20th.
No way! Get that.
It might take me a month to play it.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to be finishing it like when I'm putting up my Christmas tree.
That's true.
All right.
True. All right. So, now speaking of Smash.
We don't know who's making it though. Is it going to be what was the Next Level that did?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Smash Brothers. Speaking of Smash Brothers.
So this was a classic Nintendo moment, classic Smash fake out.
Except it wasn't. In the end, it wasn't. But yeah.
Well, yeah. How soon did you know that this wasn't going to be for an Animal Crossing game?
I don't know. Maybe 30 seconds in. I don't know at what point she kind of made that clear, or they kind of made it clear, but I started to think like the more it was just like this weird skit set in like the mayor's office that I was like, okay, wait a second. This isn't probably the thing. But yeah. Then after, they showed Isabelle, as a playable character in Smash. And then went to Tom Nook. I was like, at first I thought, okay, so now Tom Nook's going to be a playable character in Smash as well. But then when he said, everybody's been busy camping and smashing, I was like, oh, he's addressing the other games Animal Crossing characters have been in instead of a new Animal Crossing.
He's like, I got to get to work, and you're like, oh damn.
Yeah, I guess camping is a reference to an actual Animal Crossing game, but not the one we want. So,
Pocket Camp.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, the Isabelle trailer was just incredible. That was so fun. And what a I can't believe they're still revealing characters for this game.
I know.
They're what, 72 characters now?
Yeah.
This is absurd.
Owen was like, that's kind of a weird final character to announce. And I was like, who said it's the final character? I mean, it probably isn't, So
I think they'll cap it at 75.
Yeah.
Before the game launches, and then they'll probably do 5 more.
I mean, they haven't announced the II yet, so
yeah.
Or anything related to Super Monkey Ball, but
no, this was sadly a very Sega direct.
Free. Yeah.
I don't love that part, but I know the Sega ages are coming, so I'll live.
So yeah, Isabelle and Smash Brothers, and then we know that there's an Animal Crossing game coming next year to Switch, so that's cool. I like the way they did the reveal. Actually, it was like we're working on it. We hear you, and we want you to be excited, but also get excited all over again next year when we show you some footage. Although, then again, I don't know. I like Animal Crossing. I think we talked about it the last time, like maybe when Pocket Camp came out or whatever. I'm kind of not that. I don't know. I'm not that into Animal Crossing anymore myself. And I know that's probably like the opposite of how most people feel. But to me, it's like, oh, they're going to show this Animal Crossing game for Switch next year. And it's probably going to be like, I could, cover my eyes and not know which Animal Crossing game I'm looking at because it'll be HD, but the same thing all over again. So hopefully they'll surprise me and it'll be something a little more, little fresher. So,
I think that's fair. I think I don't know. I feel like New Leaf was a cool twist with the Meier stuff. That felt fresh to me, and I played the crap out of that game. I loved it. I think if they have a twist on that level, sure, I'm down.
Yeah, no.
Some of the quality of life improvements from that we got in Happy Home Designer and Pocket Camp, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready for a new Animal Crossing.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's when you're talking about the more sim heavy games earlier and stuff. Not that it's totally a sim game or whatever, but it's just that style of gameplay isn't totally for me. And I think when it was, even though it's one of those situations where it's I don't think I would like that kind of game, but Animal Crossing was so different and charming and just kind of its own thing. That it was really fun for a while, but now I think the more versions of Animal Crossing I play, the more I'm like, oh yeah, at its heart, this is just the kind of game that I don't really like that much, So, I don't know, but I mean that doesn't. It's still a super exciting announcement, just generally speaking, that this giant franchise that people really love is coming to Switch, and I think that's great. I think it's not overdue, but I think if it wasn't coming out next year, I would say it's overdue. Get Animal Crossing on Switch. So, I have no issues with it. I'm excited for it. And if it is just, essentially vanilla Animal Crossing again, like that's cool. I'm not going to be mad about it or complain about it or anything. It's just, for me personally, like I think this is for a lot of people, the direct ends with like, oh my God, we get a new Animal Crossing game. And it's like, yes, like this is what I've wanted, and for me, I'm like, cool. Yeah. All right. We'll see.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah. I think still like the best decision I ever made in video games was skipping the Wii Animal Crossing, because like that meant like I played it first on GameCube, fell in love with it there, and then I played it on DS, and there was like just so much of a social element to it there, and it felt like so cool, just getting all the social side of it and being able to have it portable and playing it on trains and stuff, and like it was perfect. And then I skipped the Wii version, which again, smartest choice I ever made, because I was like chomping at the bit for the 3DS game when that finally came out, and it like totally delivered. And now like I played the 3DS game a ton, loved it. I love that update they did with all the crazy new stuff and like the Panel de Pon mini game and stuff. That was great. And now, but I also haven't really played it since I played it for like another month after the update. And then I was kind of just done with it then. And now I think by the time this game actually launches in 2019, like probably like September, October 2019, like, yeah, I'm going to be extremely ready for it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty good direct, huh?
It was an amazing direct. Yes. It was an amazing direct. I think, not to throw shade on E3 one, but way better than the E3 one. Much more what I think, people are looking for in a big time, like big direct, I think focusing the E3 one on one game only, not one game only, but so heavily on one game was, in retrospect, a weird choice. And this is like, but it's great though, because like at the time I was expecting something more like this and we didn't get it. And now like all of a sudden in September, there's like so much stuff to talk about because I guess they, decided to do this sort of direct at a different time. And, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. That is just Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like they do things when they want.
Yeah.
And they do not compete with the other companies. Like if they really cared about competing with Sony and Microsoft to get like the best E3 grade from like Game Informer or whatever, they could have done that and like had all this stuff in one place, but they wanted to talk a ton about Smash, so they talked a ton about Smash, like, and now they're like, hey, check out all these other cool games that some of them come out in like a week, and like most of them come out in the next like 3 months, and then some of them are in January, and then some are like at other points in 2019, but here you go. And I think that's really cool. They I don't even know what I was going to say, but they do things their way, and when they want, how they want. And that's Nintendo.
Yeah. And I mean, there's never really been like I've never really felt like a shortage of things to play on the Switch, but now it's like, it's really this rest of this year and early next year is kind of like really filling out here. And that was something people were, bringing up, like, I don't know, the end of the year for Switch is kind of light. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff now in the next, I guess until the next E3, there's a lot of stuff coming out. And obviously there'll be a direct in January or February that'll probably announce more, smaller games for spring. And there'll be a lot going on still that we don't know about probably before E3 and everything. So, but yeah, it's a very exciting time for sure. And a fantastic direct.
Yeah. So Japanese Nintendo just posted the list of Famicom games launching on Nintendo Switch online. It is I'm really surprised. It is exactly the same games
Okay.
as in North America. So I'm wondering if we're going to have like cross-region online play.
Yeah, in multiple languages and stuff. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe just if you, well, no, because you have to. I'm really curious about the family account thing because I have this Japanese account on my Switch and I can use up to 7 accounts or 8 accounts if I do the family plan. I wonder if I can just like link like one of those my Japanese account, to my family plan. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Well, we will see. This everyone was wanting more answers about Nintendo Switch Online. We got a ton. There's still a lot of questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's cool though. Like I'm excited to dig into it next week and mess around with it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. One way or another.
Yep, most definitely.
So, okay, we do not have time to talk about the games we've been playing. We'll get to it. But yeah, we need to wrap up. Cool. Yeah, if you want to check out show notes, any other things that we do, check out NintendoFunClubPodcast.com. Also, you can email us, NintendoFunClubPodcast@gmail.com. I am on Twitter at Brown Dwarf. John?
I am on Twitter at Arcade Ghost.
Cool. Well, yeah, now to just start playing like thousands of hours of Switch games that are coming. So I'm going to have fun with that. I hope everyone else has fun with that. And we will catch you later. Goodbye.
Bye.